My friend hit his daughter and broke her rib. I am absolutely furious right now. My friend has a daughter who is also in my 7th grade history class. She is the nicest kid in the world and one of the best students in any of my classes. However, this morning she came into my class late and was not herself. Normally she is raising her hand and engaging with the class, but she had her hoodie up and her head down. She was holding her arm to the side and looked to be in pain. Halfway through class I walked by her desk to check on her and she looked up at me and had tears in her eyes. I brought her outside my classroom and asked her what was wrong, but she was not responding, but she started crying even more. After a couple more minutes of reassurance, she finally opened up. She woke up late for school and accidentally dropped a glass of water when she was getting ready. My friend, who is her father, punched her twice in the ribs and yelled at her for being clumsy. I asked her if she was hurt and she pulled her hoodie up and her ribs were beginning to bruise. My friend is 6 feet 4 inches and over 200 pounds. My student is 12 years old and cannot be more than 85 pounds. I asked my colleague in the next class to watch over my class and I took her to the health office where her mother picked her up. When she saw her daughter sitting in pain, she nearly burned the office down. She started cursing my friend's name and said this was the last straw for her. She asked me not to file a report, but I told her I was required to as I was shown evidence of abuse and her daughter used the word abuse, which she begrudgingly understood. I am so mad right now. My friend has always had a short temper, but hitting your child because she dropped a glass is beyond disgusting. My student's mother texted me at noon and said her daughter broke a rib and is going to be out of class until Wednesday. I feel awful for my student. She is such a bright kid and is well liked by her peers, and now she is having trouble breathing because her father can not act like an adult. I am ending my friendship with this man. He has been getting on my nerves for a while, but I will be damned if I am friends with someone who hits their child. Update February 3, 2023, next day. Hi everyone, a lot of people wanted an update on my previous post here, so here they are. The guidelines of my school district mandate that a police officer come whenever a child reports an instance of abuse. I am not going to go into detail for reasons of student confidentiality, but there is a warrant going out for the arrest of her father. My student is home with her mother and grandparents and is recovering. One of her ribs is broken and she is in a lot of pain, but she is breathing a lot better. Her mother and father are married but have been living apart for a couple of months. She has been floating the idea of divorcing him and she sent me a text message this morning saying she is going to file for divorce. Her mother is a really good person and she also reported moments of abuse between her husband. She has been able to find living arrangements and is able to support herself and her daughter. I have known her for 16 years. She would never lay a hand on her daughter. She is a good parent. My student's father blew up my phone last night saying I am destroying his family and to stay out of his business. I did not respond and blocked him. My student's mother walked into my classroom after school today to pick up any assignments for her daughter. She thanked me for reaching out to her daughter and said I saved her daughter and herself from a lifetime of abuse. She handed me a note and said her daughter wrote it. I read it when she left and started to cry. My student thanked me for recognizing that she was in pain. She felt comfortable talking to me since she has known me her entire life and knew I would act if she told me she was in danger. She called me her favorite teacher and said she will be prepared for class when she returns. I pray she fully recovers and is not deeply traumatized by this event. She is a good kid and needs to be loved and cared for by people who appreciate her. Edit, her father was arrested this morning. He is no longer a threat right now. He did admit to driving by my apartment complex last night. I might have dodged a major bullet by leaving town for the weekend. I can relax a little bit. So can my student and her mother. Thank you for everyone who supported me through this situation. If you are being abused, please tell a teacher or counselor if you are in school. I understand that it is difficult to talk about such a topic, but we are here to help you. I know there are situations where some teachers do not assist the student, but please give yourself the chance to be helped. It can mean the difference between a lifetime of danger or the ability to escape your situation. Update, February 11, 2023, 8 days later. My student came back to class today. She was out all week with a broken rib after her father hit her. She was supposed to come back on Wednesday, but she wasn't ready, so they waited until yesterday. She walked into class with the biggest smile in the world. Her arm was in a sling, but she was not taking any deep breaths like she was last weekend. She sat down and participated in the class like nothing happened. She's so cool. After school, she walked into my classroom and handed me a note and an envelope. In the envelope was a gift certificate to a nice Italian restaurant from her mother. She told me to take my girlfriend and daughter out to dinner this weekend. The note was her thanking me for recognizing she was in pain and acting on it. She knew she could trust me, and my actions went a long way for her, knowing she can go to someone she trusts if she is in distress. She wrote me a similar letter last week, but it was her reiterating what she said. She gave me a hug and left, and I closed the door and cried a little bit. She is very strong for a 12-year-old. I can tell this event is not going to affect her greatly. Her mother is working harder to be open with her, and she has a good family support system. Her father is in jail and will be for a long time. She's a special kid. She is by far my favorite student. Update, April 29, 2023. I have been teaching middle school history for the past 14 years, and I feel like I have reached the point where I need a new challenge. Teaching the same course for nearly 15 years has worn me out, and I decided I want something else. I applied for a position at a high school in my district where I taught for the first 5 years, and today I received the phone call that I got the job. I will be teaching US history to 11th graders, and I am honestly excited. They want me to take over the AP United States history course in the future, which I am okay with. The new curriculum and scene is enticing to me, and I feel like I will be able to be myself in my new classroom. I will miss my colleagues and my students. There is a chance I will be their teacher again in the future, but that is not going to be for a while. This year was the most eventful year of my career. Dealing with bomb threats, school shooting threats, a 15-person fight in a nearby classroom that spilled over into my classroom, and an incident where I reported a parent for child abuse has worn me down. I love this school, but I want to move on to the next phase of my life. I plan on proposing to my girlfriend this summer. We want to have another child and finally buy a house. We both will receive raises this year, and I genuinely believe she is the one I want to spend my life with. I am thinking of coaching baseball again if my schedule allows for it. I am happy. My life is busy, but I feel like I am building a good life for myself.